Aviation YouTube has been a very important part of my pilot journey. As a student pilot, I was inspired by watching the progress of other students and the adventures that general aviation makes possible right here on YouTube. One of my favorite aviation YouTubers usually ends the year with a review video. And for years, I've wanted to do a review video of my own, but circumstances just did not allow it. This year, I'm blessed to have the setup and the time to put this together. It's very easy for me to bury my head in the daily grind and forget just how far I've come. Every now and then, it's enriching and encouraging to reflect on and appreciate the people I've met throughout the year, the adventures we've had, and the memories that will forever be a part of my journey.
That is beautiful.
That is work.
Yeah.
Ever since I was a kid, I had a dream of becoming a pilot, but could never afford it. One day I decided to stop making excuses, to sacrifice my comfort, to make my dream happen. My name is D, and this is my journey. This is Future Pilot 901. The start of a new year usually brings a sense of fresh potential waiting to be realized. It's usually a time when we look forward with optimism towards the opportunities that are to come. In January 2025, that feeling did not last long. I applied for the TUI MPL program, and despite having prepared for months, I never got past the initial stage, and it burned. But I had to dust myself off and keep going. I had a total of 98 flying hours and a license to make the world my oyster. So I decided to fly to Southend. Joining me for this flight back in February was Chimsy, a 2024 gliding scholar, Cadet, a fellow 2023 Air Pilots PPL scholar, and Lukman, his friend, who's an aspiring pilot. Looking forward to getting airborne?
Yeah, I've been some few months since I've been airborne, so I've been looking forward to this here for a long time.
The flight was all about helping Cadet to shake off the cobwebs, get back in the air. So we flew into Southend. When we were about to move on to Stockholm, we realized that the battery was flat.
Stuck in Southend because this bird won't start.
We tried everything we could to get back in the air, but it just wasn't possible. In the end, we had to catch a cab back to Northfield and leave the aircraft to be collected on a later date. Mother's Day came around in March, and I got to celebrate my 100th hour flight by taking my aunt up for the first time. Many of you have heard the story that I lived in my car for 7 months and slept on my aunt's couch for 2 years to pay for flight training. Well, it was this aunt's couch that I slept on. Having lost my mum when I was only 12 years old, my aunt has been one of two very important maternal figures in my life. And I will always be grateful for her love, for her support and her guidance. And I was very grateful that I could share this special moment with her. In April came the longest flight I've ever done. Chris, Chimsy and Khaled joined me for the flight from Northfield to a spring barbecue in Breeton. The flight itself brought some incredible views. I usually fly towards the south coast, so it was nice to explore the lands further north. The rest of the story really deserves a video of its own. What I can say for now is that soft field landing technique was a bit rusty. So after this flight, I met up with my flight instructor for refresher training to brush up on my technique to ensure that I'm safe and proficient. When May came around, I found myself a good way into the selection process of a different airline-sponsored cadet program. In some ways, I think failing with TUI back in January lit a fire under me, which helped me progress. The journey started in March, but eventually ended in May when I was informed that I did not advance to the final stage. And even though this was disappointing news, I'd proven to myself that I could get out of the initial stages of testing and I can take that forward with me to try again the next year. Later on in the month, I flew out to Stockholm to see my brother and my nieces. When June came around, well, that saw the start of a new series. I've always loved flying.
Hello. Come on. Well done.
And dancing, there's no denying. If only I could blend the two. I know what I'll do. I'll fly to new places, to dance with new faces. Making the most of the wings a private pilot license brings.
That was a little bit gusty.
Just made a no-fly decision.
Sport conspicuity, 3-4 shore.
A different way to our build and advance.
2-0, during downwind.
I call it fly to dance.
Full flaps.
Ooh, nice one.
Flaps come up.
Well, flight, man.
Foxtrot Sierra, welcome to shore.
We have everything in this flight, man.
Everything, bro.
I had a couple of full circle moments. One of them came in July. Well, for you to understand that, I'm going to have to track back to where it started in 2020 during lockdown, when I decided to use the extra time I had to get into PPL theory books. And I remember opening the first pages of these theory books and reading about the authors. And I remember reading the name Dorothy Soul Pooley. Well, fast forward to 2025 and there I was sat in the living room of a past master of the Honourable Company of Air Pilots, interviewing them as part of the Centenary film project. The filmmaking skills, which started off with some basic YouTube videos of my flying lessons, opened the door to me being involved in such projects and meeting retired captains and pilots and people who are accomplished. Anyways, I was listening to this woman as she was talking about her experience as a flight instructor and her editorial skills in dealing with the PPL manuals. And as she was talking, it just dawned on me. Here I was sitting in front of the same Dorothy I'd read about back in 2020. Another full circle moment came earlier in the year in February when I was invited to be on the PPL scholarship interview panel for the Honourable Company of Air Pilots. To give you a bit of context, I applied for the scholarship in 2019 2020, 2021 and 22, but was unsuccessful. In 2023, having completed 9 theory exams, 33 flying hours, I got through all the selection process and got a Donaldson PPL scholarship. 2 years later, there I was sitting on the opposite side of the interview table, asking similar questions to the candidates who hoped to follow a similar path. I even got to break the news to one of those candidates that they had been successful at getting the scholarship. I owe a huge debt of gratitude to the Honourable Company of Air Pilots for supporting my development in aviation thus far. If you had told me back in 2020 that I would have these full circle moments, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but here we are. August was a great time for flying with family. My brother and my nieces visited from Sweden and I got a chance to fly with them and show them what general aviation was about. One of the joys of having a private pilot license is the ability to fly with friends, family, and other aspiring pilots. And best of all, for me, is flying with the children.
In the front with me is Jaela, Caleb, Jesse.
Say hi.
Oh yeah. And this is the first time that they're flying with me.
Also, after many attempts, I got to fly with my sister, Cadet. Such a joy to be able to share with her the thrill of general aviation.
I like the touch and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we came down and then you just accelerated again and back up again. So it was all in all a good experience. Really good.
September to December, well, that featured fewer flying adventures. My bank account definitely needed the recovery time. And during that time, I had a couple of flights. I flew with Tim, a PPL who wanted to sharpen his skills, and Jess. Now, many of you know that I have a background in dance. Well, Jess has a dance school. I used to teach for her. I retired from dance back in 2017. And we hadn't been in contact much until I had seen on Instagram that she too was trying to become a pilot. I'm always happy to see people turning towards aviation and taking it more seriously and moving towards living their dream of becoming a pilot.
So what made you want to be a pilot? Because I never knew that you wanted to be a pilot.
Because I didn't.
What happened?
You know what I did? I went to the job centre to try and recruit dance teachers. And there was a woman there talking about careers in aviation.
Interesting.
And I was like, oh, you should come along to this event. And I was like, nah, not for me. Like, I'm just here to like find dance teachers. She was like, yeah, but you know, just come along. Like, I think she needs to meet a quota. So I went, I took Storm with me and they were talking about the BA team.
Yeah.
And I was like, alright, maybe I'll give it a go. I give it a go, didn't get in, and then I thought, you know what, let me just book one lesson and see what it's like. Booked it, hated it, threw up on the landing, it was awful. And then I thought, let me try again. And then I loved it, and then here we are, 40 hours later.
Outside of the aircraft, my focus was fully on live streaming. First came the Future Pilot 901 live show. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday and welcome to Future Pilot 901 Live. I'm your future captain. My name is D and this show is brought to you live every Monday, 7 p.m. Zulu time or UTC. The show is live on Kick and on YouTube. This is episode number 24. So we are one episode away from a quarter century. Shout out to you for being here. Shout out to us for having been consistent for over 24 episodes. Future Pilot 901 Live has been a great way of staying on top of the latest information in general aviation. I got back into flight simming and decided to live stream my practice session too.
55 knots, rotates. Engine failure, immediately listening out for that sound, looking down the runway.
All in all, it has been a fantastic year, and I'm grateful for the opportunities that were given to me and the progress that I've made. I end the year on around 122 hours. I'm grateful for the challenges that this year brought. They pointed out my weaknesses and allowed me to grow stronger. Most of all, I'm grateful for all the people that have been part of my journey. Doing life together has been an absolute blessing, and I look forward to many more adventures together. Whatever you do during this season, I hope you'll take the time to reflect on just how far you've come and all the people that have been part of your journey. Until next time, this is Future Pilot 901, and my name is D. I'm wishing you a happy new year 2026 and reminding you to live your dream.